friends, God listens to our prayers, but not through some miracle or some grand act, but through a series of small, seemingly insignificant moments. So let's start today's story. The story of young girl Sabah. Sabah sat by the small window of her one-room apartment, staring out at the bustling city that seemed so alive and yet felt so indifferent to her struggles. Her life had not taken the path she had hoped for. Each day was a battle with her health. Her job at the cafe barely covered her medical bills, and her dreams of becoming a graphic designer seemed to drift further away. She often found herself whispering a simple prayer. When will God help me? It wasn't that Saba doubted the existence of a higher power, it was just that her faith wavered under the weight of continuous hardship. One rainy afternoon, as Sabah was limping back home from the doctor's office, her arthritis flaring up again, a tiny bookstore caught her eye. It wasn't the sort of place she'd usually visit. Its shabby exterior usually made her hurry past. Today, however, something pulled her inside. The bell above the door chimed a quaint welcome as she entered. The musty smell of old books filled her nostrils, a comfort she hadn't realized she missed. An elderly man emerged from behind a pile of books, his glasses perched precariously at the end of his nose. Looking for anything in particular, he asked, his voice as worn as the books that surrounded him. Not really. Just needed to get out of the rain for a bit, Sabah replied, smiling weakly. Take your time, dear. This place is more for souls than sales anyway. He chuckled, disappearing behind his books. Sabah wandered through the aisles, her fingers tracing the spines of countless books until one caught her attention. It wasn't particularly new or beautifully bound, but the title, When Faith Meets Fate, made her pause. She picked it up, feeling an inexplicable tug at her heart. She flipped through the pages, her eyes catching on a passage often. We ask for help without knowing we've already been answered. God's help isn't always in the form of miracles, sometimes it's in the opportunities that lie in our path, waiting for us to notice. Sabah bought the book. Back at her apartment, with a cup of tea steaming by her side, she began to read. The words seemed to speak directly to her, each sentence a balm to her weary heart. The following day at the cafe, Sabah shared snippets of her newfound wisdom with her customers. Surprisingly, they listened. They really listened. Her day was busier than usual, not in terms of coffee served, but in conversations had. People smiled more, and so did she. A regular customer, Mr. Kumar, who often came in for his morning black coffee, noticed the change. You're different today, Sabah. What's the secret, he asked. His curiosity piqued. Sabah told him about the book and how it had opened her eyes to see help in new places. I run a small design firm, Mr. Kumar revealed, much to Sabah's surprise. And I've been thinking maybe you could show me some of your designs? Who knows, there might be something for you. Excited, Sabah spent that weekend dusting off her old designs, polishing her portfolio. On Monday, she presented it to Mr. Kumar. Impressed, he offered her a part-time job as a junior designer. As weeks turned into months, Sabah found her footing in the new role. Her health issues, while still present, seemed more manageable with the new job's health benefits and less physical strain. Sitting by her window one evening, looking out at the city that now seemed a bit friendlier, she realized that her prayer had been answered, not through a grand gesture, but through a series of small, seemingly insignificant moments. Sabah smiled, her heart full, understanding now that help had been there all along, waiting for her to take the first step.